Good morning. We know on May 5th, 2016, the city of Newark entered in the consent decree with the Department of Justice and the city of Newark to monitor and change policies and practices and culture of the Newark Police Department. We have undergone about 10 years of that in the city, and the Department of Justice, along with the judge, thought it was, necessary for us to be removed from the consent decree, the federal consent decree. But as a result of that, our discussions with our partners, with the judge, with the community, we realized that the consent decree is not over in so many, aspects that we're not. We're only ending the federal aspect of the consent decree. That monitoring of the police department is not a federal job. It is the job of the residents of the city of Newark and the community here to monitor the police department and monitor the activities of government, period. Whether it be the mayor's office or legislatively or the fire department or the police department, that the public is supposed to monitor and oversee what is happening with their tax dollars. Because ultimately it is the taxes that finance all of the agencies that we have here in the city of Newark. So we're creating through an executive order today, the continuation of a consent decree, a monitoring of the consent decree, rules and regulations that were established by creating an organization here internally in the city of Newark to further, what the objectives were of the consent decree once we, signed that MOU, that document with the federal government. And that includes training, it includes policies and practices, it includes new policies that were written, it includes having a relationship with the CCRB, it includes making sure that we are following the actual rules and regulations and policies that were established by this police department itself, for itself, that those things are actually taking place. And there's a mixed group of people that'll be on this body, including community members, folks from the administration, and folks from the police department itself. So with that being said, I would like to first bring on the Deputy Mayor, Keisha Uri, to talk to us for a second about her perspective on this.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lakeisha Uri, Deputy Mayor for Public Safety in the great city of Newark. Today, we are putting public back into public safety once again. Today is an important moment for the city of Newark and for the people we serve. Under the leadership of Mayor Raj J. Baraka, we are taking another step towards transparency, accountability, healing, and community trust through the establishment of the Office of Constitutional Affairs. This office is not just about compliance, it's about commitment. A commitment to ensuring that the promises made under the federal consent decree continue to move forward with integrity, oversight, and community partnership. It is about making sure that the voices of Newark residents are heard, respected, and reflected in how public safety is shaped in our city. Newark has never been afraid to lead. We chose to approach public safety differently, understanding that constitutional policing, community trust, violence prevention, and healing must all work together. We know that true public safety is not built through fear. It is built through accountability, relationships that we have, transparency, and justice. The Office of Constitutional Affairs will help create a space where community organizations, advocates, residents, and city leadership can work together to monitor the progress. We can raise concerns and make meaningful recommendations to the police department that will help build trust between our government and the people. I want to thank the community partners, our advocates, the Civilian Complaint Review Board, and all of those who continue to push this city forward. This work belongs to all of us. Today is not the end of the work, it's the continuation of Newark's commitment to become a national model for community-centered public safety and constitutional accountability. Thank you.
Thank you. I like this. Now we want to hear from the the Public Safety Director, Emmanuel Miranda.
Good morning. I thank Mayor Rajay Baraka for his leadership in establishing the Newark Office of Constitutional Affairs. This new office presents the people of Newark with a fresh commitment to police oversight following the successful completion of the Newark Consent Decree in November 2025. During the 9 years of the Consent Decree, the Newark Police Division implemented several policies, reforms aimed at strengthening community trust. And I am pleased to acknowledge that during that process of reform, with oversight by the U.S. Department of Justice, the Newark Police Division was and continues to be wholeheartedly committed to strengthening the trust of the people we serve. That hard-won trust came through such effective reforms as revisions to our use of force policy, technology upgrades, including introduction of the body-worn cameras and in-car cameras, a First Amendment policy addressing the role of police when community members recorded them on a cell phone, implementations of our community policing, including the introduction of 2 community service officers in every Newark police precinct, and a bias-free policing policy, to name a few. Chief of Police Sharonda Morris and I both welcome the Newark Office of Constitutional Affairs in providing continued oversight of the Newark Police Division. This oversight allows the Newark Police Division to continue building upon the solid community trust and internal culture changes we have achieved through the transparency and integrity produced under the Consent Decree. Thank you.
So we want to sign the executive order now, the Office of Constitutional Affairs. And before we do that, I would like to bring the Corporation Counsel, Kenyatta Stewart, up to say a few words as well. Assemblywoman.
Good morning. So as mentioned a few moments ago, our success in the consent decree really came through collaboration. Collaboration from the community advocates who spoke out loud about the issues that were going on before the consent decree started. At that point, it was City Councilman Baraka, not Mayor Baraka. Eventually, the mayor had an opportunity to agree with the folks on the federal level and the people from the community to sign on to the fact that we needed a consent decree. We also had a collaboration from the police department, recognizing that each director had to get the buy-in from the people within the department. We also know that it wasn't as easy as some make it seem, but that collaborative effort is why we're here now. I want you all to recognize that we're here today on a voluntary basis. Notice that we're not here before a judge, we're not here before the U.S. Attorney. We completed our responsibility when it comes to the consent decree. We're here because each of us, who I just mentioned, are committed to the fact that the people in this community deserve a police department that they can have and be honored to have with them, that respects them and be proud of. And also the members of the police department deserve a police department that they can honor and have a situation that can be proud of. Also recognize that there's going to be new officers coming into the department who will understand that what happened in the last few years is the norm and not the exception. Some folks who talk about the history of the Newark Police Department can just leave it as history. We recognize that the history does not affect the legacy of this department. When we think about police reform, we also have to recognize and appreciate the fact that we're doing police reform so that those young officers understand what it's like to be a true, proud person of the police department. But yes, let's be honest. We're doing it so that our kids don't have to endure what we went through. We're doing it so that the police department can use its funding and that the administration can use its funding to pay for cops and not reform. Finally, I'll leave you with the fact that whenever there is a violation of someone's constitutional rights, everyone suffers. It's clear that the person who is the subject of the violation suffers, but you have to think about it. The officers who committed the investigation and have gone through the process, they feel like they wasted their resources. The community also suffers because they understand that a crime has been committed, and they also read the papers and hear about the fact that someone's case was dismissed despite the fact that we all know what really happened. And then finally, of course, you have to realize that the taxpayers have to also, suffer. We have to pay for more lawsuits. We have to pay for more training. We have to pay for everything else other than what's really the focus, which is to make the city of Newark a better place. Thank you.
That being said, I like the Corporation Counsel talked about money, and he would. We've spent well over $20-30 million on our relationship with the federal government in the consent decree, and that came from taxpayers. And he's right. As we quibble and fight over resources, those resources could have been used to, provide training to police officers, create opportunity for advanced technology, build more affordable housing, provide opportunities for jobs and employment, invest in healthcare for our workers, raise people's salaries, not fight each other over overtime, right? That could have been used for that. And so it is incredibly important that we understand that the work that needs to be done, that we can do it ourselves, that we have the will and the ability and the infrastructure now to get this stuff accomplished and maybe become a model for other cities before they are forced to go into a consent decree where they have to spend more of taxpayers' dollars to do things that they should have been doing in the first place. That being said, I want to get right to the signatory part of this, to sign the executive order establishing today the Newark Office of Constitutional Affairs, which would include, as I stated earlier, community members, folks appointed by the administration and representation from the police department as well. So on this day, May 21st, right? 2026, I get to sign this. Yeah, it's always too. All right, folks, now we have an Office of Constitutional Affairs in the city of Newark. I want to recognize a few people that are here before we close. I want to recognize our brother Zaim Muhammad, who is a activist, community organizer, and helps us with violence reduction and intervention throughout the city. I want to recognize Larry Ham in the back, who is a longtime community activist and organizer and founder of People's Organization for Progress that sits in the back, friend of the people, my friend as well. So thank you for coming out and be a part of this. And all of the council people that are here as well, the folks from the Institute for Social Justice, all of the community partners and CVI organizations that thought it not robbery to show up here today, and folks from the police department that are in charge of our consent decree, and academy and all those things. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Enjoy.